Hey guys, Scott here with another beer dissection video for you guys. What I have here is a stout from R&S Brewing Company. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about them at the very end of the video. But these guys have been producing beer individually for about 25 years or so, based out of Maryland and actually here on Long Island. So R&S Brewing Company, let me talk about it a little bit at the end. I just want to get right into the beer. It is a stout, Imperial Stout. So let's get right into it, okay? So with most stouts and porters, I'm going to be using my Tula pint glass here. Nonic pint is great, any glass you like. If you say, Scott, screw you, I want to put it in a Dixie cup, go right ahead. Go ahead and do it, all right? So let me open this bad boy open. They put these fancy American flag caps on their bottles, which is kind of nice. All right, so let's pour this. So Imperial Stout, I think is roughly 8 to 9% alcohol. I think they said they were a little under what they wanted to, but so it's kind of pouring. I'm going to show it to you on camera here in a second. Pouring like a dark brown, kind of reddish hue, almost like an amber. Not an amber, but like a dark amber kind of color. But it's not jet black, which is fine for porters or stouts. You can see a little bit of red tinge I can see on my end of things. Maybe not so much on yours. Nice supportive head, roughly an inch and a quarter. Beige, pretty tight bubbles other than at the very top. So there we go. So R&S Brewing Company, Imperial Stout. Let me take a whiff of this. Okay, so definitely got that familiar dark chocolate aroma, light roast. This shouldn't be like, super roasted. I mean, it is a stout, but if you ever had Old Rasputin North Coast, it's got enough roast to it, but it's not like, burnt, ash too much. So, bittersweet chocolate, light coffee, maybe not as bold as, say, like espresso kind of roast. Slightly herbal, probably from some of the hops being used. Okay. But very nice, very pleasant. Okay, so here it is again. R&S Brewing Company out of Maryland and here on Long Island. So pretty local. Let's take a swig of this. Cheers. It's kind of nice. Medium carbonation, not too much. With most stouts, you don't want much carbonation anyway, at least in my personal preference. If you had one that with a lot of carbonation, let it sit in the glass a little bit. Slight creaminess, so kind of a medium to medium full mouthfeel. There's definitely a pronounced bitterness. With a lot of these stouts, you are going to get that. Moderate to pronounced. Kind of a creamy aftertaste. Maybe not as creamy as Irish Stout would be. But I still get that bittersweet chocolate. Light roast. Getting a little bit of the herbal hop flavor to it. So maybe they use a little bit on the last 15, 20 minutes of the boil to give that to you. Like I said, the carbonation's nice, bitterness kind of moderate pronounced. Some dark fruit a little bit. Kind of like if you had a chocolate covered raisin. Slight dark fruit, not as, and I should say there's a little alcoholic warmth too, which you would expect. I usually perceive it somewhere around 7.5%. If this is around 8.5, some Imperial Stouts will get up to 10 to 12. But definitely pleasantly surprised from a brewery you don't hear, too much of. But here's the color of it again. So again, depending on where your vantage point is, brown, dark brown, but there is some garnet highlights. Pretty clear beer. But it has, you know, that kind of medium body to it. But very good. Not being completely honest with you guys, R&S Brewing Company is Ron and Scott Brewing Company. This is indeed if you follow me on Facebook, the stout we had brewed. We just bottled it about 10, 11 days ago. This is the first time I'm having it, so I'm actually perceiving this stuff on the fly here. Even though my buddy did most of the brewing because of some of my limitations, I'd helped him a lot more with the bottling than the brewing. So I wasn't too even sure if the carbonation was going to be right, because usually you want to wait about, in homebrew, about 2 weeks. It's been about 10, 11 days, depending on where you start counting. But I'm quite happy with this. You know, we wanted to hit that old Rasputin clone recipe and be somewhere around 12%. You know, on brewing day, we probably put a little bit more water, probably in the fermenter. So when we took the hydrometer reading, I think it read a little bit lower, but I bet it's still sitting around 8% alcohol. So you still got to drink this very, you know, carefully. But it has the typical stout, dark fruit, chocolate, coffee, light roast to it, good enough body. Carbonation is actually pretty good, because actually I was going to stop videoing if I wasn't going to get good carbonation. You saw the head on it, which was good. So I don't want to toot Ron and I's horn, but for home brewing, if you guys were taking this, I think you'd find this very enjoyable. Probably one of our better stouts. I give Ron a lot of credit because, like I said, he had to do a lot of the heavy lifting on the brew day. But R&S Brewing Company, again, my buddy Ron's down in Maryland. I'm obviously here on Long Island, so I did lie a little bit to you guys. But it's kind of a review, my first review of my own homebrew or our homebrew. I have about 2 cases sitting, a little under 2 cases in my thing. He has about a 12-pack. He sacrificed a little bit, taking it from us. But you can see how we have a nice stout here. All right, guys. Maybe not as of a sexy beer dissection from a beer that you know commercially, but I want to just kind of do a video on our own homebrew. All right. Till next time, guys. Have a great day.